All right, Mike Lamberti, the new head men's basketball coach at West Liberty, coming home to the Hilltop, former Hilltopper star, South Fayette, Pennsylvania graduate. First off, Mike, what's this past, 24 hours to potentially maybe the last week or so been? Because I'm sure this process didn't just start, earlier today when they announced you as the head coach.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind to say the least, but everything's been going pretty smoothly. Everybody at West Liberty has been easy to deal with. Conversations went well, and it was kind of wow, this is really happening once the announcement went out today, and just trying to figure out some logistics as we transition from South Carolina here to getting back up to West Liberty as fast as possible. It was kind of a no-brainer once offered the job. I had to wake my wife up from a nap and make sure she was all in, and we were ready to rock and roll after that.
Absolutely. Your wife, of course, Emily, graduated from Wheeling Central, West Liberty as well, and you guys are very busy right now. Just had a newborn baby just a couple days ago. Is that right? I mean, that's kind of added to the craziness, I'm sure, of this whole situation.
Yeah, definitely. Saturday afternoon, we welcomed our daughter at 12:30, and then we were in the hospital for about 36 hours, got home. Did a little Zoom interview with West Liberty on Monday, and then a couple hours after that Zoom, this all happened, and it's been a bit of a whirlwind. So we're trying to balance a little bit of everything, but those are all good problems to have.
Absolutely. And getting back home around family, I'm sure with your growing family, is that a positive of this whole move as well, coming back to West Liberty?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest pros. Obviously, Emily growing up in the Wheeling area, being around her family. I have a lot of family still in the Pittsburgh area. We were both alums. That played a giant factor. It's where we met when she played on the women's basketball team while I was on the men's team. It played a major, major factor in this decision.
Your time at Coker, what have you learned being a head coach that you hope will help you now that you come back here and take over, this highly successful program?
Yeah, logistics of just running a program in all different areas. You have to have relationships with a lot of different people. You're managing assistant coaches and dealing with administrators. And you also have a different relationship with the players. As an assistant, you're kind of their buddy a little bit, quote unquote. And you sometimes have to have hard conversations as a head coach, and sometimes you have to have easy conversations. You're just having that all-around view with them is different. But I've been through a lot of good experiences here in these 2 years here and seen a different side of things. And I think that's going to help me with this transition as I go back to West Liberty now in a different role.
And when you get back up here and get into that office again and into, have the head coaching, name on the door, what do you feel like that's going to be like as you take over here coming up?
I think it's going to be a whole bunch of different emotions, right? The last two guys that have had that office have had some of the best success in all of college basketball. Ben Howlett and Jim Crutchfield, one's a mentor for me who I worked for, and one's the guy I played with and played for and learned a whole bunch from. So the goal is to keep what they built and instilled there rolling and add my own little twist to it. I'm not those two guys, but obviously I've learned a lot about the game of basketball and the game of life from them. So the goal is to keep that train running up there at West Liberty, and those guys who have built that in that office before, it's now my turn.
And Coker, you guys started scoring points pretty quickly. I imagine we're going to see the same type of deal when you get back up here with the guys once you get a team assembled, for next season?
No, I think Topper Nation was probably sick of that style of play of scoring 100 points and running fast. I'm talking, talking to a few people. We might walk the ball up the court and play some 2-3 zone. But no, it's a style of play that I played and learned. It's a style of play that I've coached and built a little bit here at Coker, and we plan to keep that rolling. And the points are a great thing. We want to play with some high intensity and compete at a high level. That's going to cause the opponents to feel that pressure for 40 minutes and keep that ASRC arena rocking.
You talk about some a variety of emotions you'll probably feel when you get into that office, even when you step back onto campus again. You're thinking about when you were a player. Think about when you step back onto campus, as a freshman. I imagine. I mean, did you even know you wanted to be a coach at that time, starting college? And then, can you believe like you're going to be coming back now, 14, 15 years later after you first stepped on campus as the guy at West Lib?
Yeah, it's a full circle moment. And no, when I stepped on that campus at 19 years old as a freshman, I wanted to play basketball. And I went there as a finance and an accounting major and thought I was going to be a financial planner or an accountant, and a couple internships steered me away from that. And I had some old teammates that were in the coaching ranks and GAs at the time, so I wanted to follow their paths. And it's just kind of been a day-by-day thing. I started as a graduate assistant at Embry-Riddle, and I just wanted to take on that role as best as I possibly can and enjoy each day and grow. And just, I knew everything else would take care of itself. So I've had the domino effect of going from a GA to being the assistant at West Liberty and now a head coach here. And to come back home, it means a whole bunch. I'm excited to see some familiar faces and voices up there. My phone has been ringing off the hook, and the support and, pride that people have is, it means a whole bunch to my family. So I think Topper Nation, the fan base, is second to none. I think I think the support that the campus has, not only at athletics, but in other areas and neighborhoods up there. It's going to be great to see some professors that I was in class with and administrators up there and old colleagues that I worked with, and it's going to be a whole bunch of fun.
And I guess you've already probably got rolling on this, all while trying to help take care of a newborn. But what's the first items of business? Is it getting that coaching staff together and then getting these players on board? Because with the portal now, everything seems to turn over so quickly. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of new faces next year. But kind of take me through like what the next couple of days even look like for you as you get ready for this.
Yeah, you hit on it. Those are the two big ones. You're trying to complete the staff, and then seeing, I Zoomed with the remaining roster this morning with administration to let them know who the new head coach was. I've been having one-on-one conversations with all those guys to see who's on board and wants to stay and who might be moving in a different direction. But we're going to work day in and day night as hard as possible to fill that roster and make sure we have not only the right basketball players, but the right students and people to represent West Liberty the best that they possibly can in all areas. So I'm not going to take that duty lightly. You're only as good as the players that you put onto that court, and it takes a special type of player to play at West Liberty. So my goal is I got to take care of my daughter and my family 100%, but we also got to field a pretty darn good roster, and we got to do it pretty quickly with August approaching right before, coming up pretty quick.
It is. All right. Well, Coach, welcome back. Excited to see you back up on the Hilltop, and should be a lot of fun. Thanks for taking a few minutes here.
I appreciate the time. Thanks, Rob.